Happiness is a full pantry.
That's for sure.
You've been saying that in jest for the 30 years that we've been married.
Now, I only mean it partially in jest. There's some great feeling about having a full pantry, a full freezer, just lots of food ready to go.
That is true. That is true. One of my favorite things to do at the store is to take advantage of sales and to take advantage of bulk buying, and then I come home and I store it away for later.
And of course, this time of year, getting into the late summer and the fall, you've got all of this bounty of food from the garden. And it's great, like for example, with green beans, to be able to eat them fresh, but you get so many bushels or bags of food that you want to do something with them to preserve them.
Absolutely. So the 3 ways we'll talk about today are your favorite.
Canning, for sure.
Mylar bag storage and freezer storage. So let's go tackle each one of them. First up, Mylar bags. I love these. They are so sturdy. I buy these and the oxygen absorbers that go with them from packfreshusa.com. I'll put the link in the description below. They are wonderful American-made products. They have from smaller than these all the way up to 5-gallon bucket size. If you're storing things in 5-gallon buckets, then you can use this and put it inside the 5-gallon bucket. We don't grow grains here on this farm, so I have to go to the store and buy oatmeal and cornmeal. Those are things I love to bake and cook with, and I love to buy them organic to make sure they've not ever been sprayed by anything. So I'll bring it home, I'll put what I want into a glass jar, and I will put the rest in Mylar bags. So this is one that I did last month with oatmeal in it, and you can see it's real firm and hard because it has had all the oxygen already absorbed from it, so that this is going to last and be real shelf stable for a long time. You can find online, there are charts for the size of the Mylar bag you're going to use, the size of the oxygen absorber you would need for that, and how long the food that you're going to put in the Mylar bag is going to last. You can definitely find that all online. One more thing about storing oatmeal. This has just been in the freezer for 3 days. I don't know if you know this, but there are some crops of oatmeal that have insect eggs in it. And so you just want to freeze them. You can't see them. You just want to freeze them and kill them. And so put this into the freezer for 3 days. Let it come out. This is now at room temperature and ready for me to put in a Mylar bag.
Canning is my favorite method for preserving from our abundance on the homestead. There are 2 different types of canning. There's water bath canning and there's pressure canning. Now, canning of both types is a great way to preserve food for long-term storage, sometimes even years. Water bath canning is when you have an acid environment in your jar, for example, vinegar, pickles, or the acid level of fruit and jams. You can can things like that in just boiling water with a stock pot and the little pinchers here to put your jars in if you like. Very few tools are actually needed for water bath canning. Now, pressure canning is necessary for foods like meat and vegetables. When you can those foods, you need the pressure to get the temperature up to above the boiling point, even up to 260 degrees, so that you can kill bacteria that can be dangerous for people, such as botulism. Now, this isn't meant to be a video on instructional canning steps, but if you would like to see a video like that in the future, please let us know in the comments below. What we'd like to encourage you with this video is to take advantage of the abundance you have, as well as the abundance that you see all around you. For example, last summer, we had so many cucumbers that we couldn't eat all the fresh ones. So I went and put the rest of them in jars as pickles. We had 60 quarts of pickles. Last week, we knew that the season for peaches is coming due, and the farm market would have some fresh bushels of peaches. We were able to can peaches for the winter. Last winter, our daughter had a fundraiser at school and she was selling oranges from Florida. Fresh oranges, mandarins came to us in a box and we were so excited to eat as many as we could, but we had to go ahead and put the rest, before they spoiled of course, in jars. And now we have them for the winter months. One great way to take advantage of abundance is around the Thanksgiving holiday. When the turkey is so cheap per pound, you can buy 2 or 3 frozen turkeys and then go ahead and cook them as usual. Enjoy the one for Thanksgiving, and maybe you want to take the rest and can it. Make broth, make the meat, and it's very good for soups and stews throughout the year. So it's very important for us to think about the abundance around us, whether it's from our garden or whether it's from the store, and take advantage of those things.
And last but not least, we have freezing.
With freezing, we have pros and we have cons versus, say, with water bath canning or pressure canning. For example, when you do freeze your fruits or your vegetables, you get the nutrients locked in because you're freezing them when they're still fresh. You'll also get a color fastness there, which is nice because you like to have pretty looking vegetables, right?
I do like that better.
Also, when you thaw a frozen vegetable or fruit, they typically come back to near the firmness, not exactly, but near the firmness that they would be when they were fresh.
Right. So the 2 cons would be that compared to canning, that freezing has a less span of time of its best quality, 6 months or so, right?
Yeah, and
after that, you're likely to get a little freezer burn.
Yeah.
And then the other con really would be a loss of power. If you lose power and you have a freezer full of vegetables, you might have a panicky moment of wondering what to do with all of them if you don't have a generator. So that could be a con.
So when we do freezing, part of the process that we go through is something called blanching. Blanching is when you take your cut up vegetables and you put them in boiling water for a short period of time, and then you pull them out and then you put them in cold or ice water to stop that cooking process. What it does is it stops the enzyme action and it helps to lock in nutrients, lock in color, different things like that. Now, it's very important to know that when you blanch, it's not necessary. We don't do everything with blanching. In fact, we don't do the tomatoes, our fruits like our blackberries, we don't, but peppers or zucchini, beans, green beans. We do blanching because it helps with the color, it helps with the nutrients, but it does not do anything for the safety. It's safe if you do or if you don't.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, so that covers our 3 different methods of long-term food storage that we love to use. So when you have an abundance, like we all do on occasion, and the food is coming quickly in from the garden, you want it fresh, but you're gonna have to do something with the rest, or you're buying from the store in today's money as much as you can instead of paying more for tomorrow. These are the best ways to do it.
That's right. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. We love looking at those. We love responding. We love this community that we're starting to build.
We do.